In 1962, we had the first 80-hour police recruits training school that was conducted actually at the Old Congregational Church in Western Springs. And it was really a big media event. And what the Illinois Chief's role in that was to encourage and to try to get people to get involved in understanding that we needed to train these people to be more effective, with reference to their responsibilities. There's like some saying about what the things we need to do. We need to have competence, we need to have capability, we need to have courage to do our jobs. And part of the way we reinforce that is through our educational efforts and by sharing our experiences and keeping on top of what the current laws are so that the officers will perform correctly.
When we got together a year ago for this annual planning conference, after a whole day of conversation, we really ended up with one word, and that word was relevance. And here's what people meant by that. They said we need to be relevant to our own members, and we need to be relevant to the mayors and managers, and we need to be relevant to legislators. And so I think we've spent the last year both implementing that and struggling with what that means. The committee met in two places, in Oak Brook and O'Fallon. It was great to have this video conference connection in O'Fallon with about 25 people there and about 30 or 35 people in Oak Brook, so that was a great turnout. And we discussed a lot of issues and a lot of bills and set some priorities. Mark Maytown, our legislative committee chair, wanted us to come up with 5 top priorities. That was a little bit hard to do, but we're there at this point. And you can see the list here. At the top of the list, of course, is our opposition to cannabis, and we're going to continue to oppose that as various bills come through. Lobby Day was a good day for us. We had about 30 of our members come down and spend the day here. First, we went to a local restaurant and we did a debriefing for more than an hour. And one of the things that happened there was the head of the Illinois Municipal League, Brad Cole, came and he talked to us about the pension consolidation issues that they are pushing. And that's of great interest to our members, of course, and we continue to be in dialogue with them about it. Mark Maytown did a great job of running through our top priorities. We do this at every meeting because, we have positions on about 200 bills, but you can't have 200 priorities. And so Mark and his committee do a great job of consulting with the Board of Officers and then determining what the priorities should be. And Mark went over those, and there was some discussion about some of them. Of course, cannabis is at the top of the list now, and we're talking about that, and we're really trying to push the idea that we're against home grows. And so a number of people did that when they were down in the Capitol later in the day. Some of the other priorities haven't changed since earlier this session, but they're obviously very important to us. We try to do 5 or 6, but this year we had 8 or 9 because there are a number of pressing issues this year, including the bill that would require 3 phone calls after a person is detained. That's something that's really of big interest to us, especially since it might be moving. We're trying to put a stop to that. The legislative session is scheduled to end on May 31st, and so we thought we should be sending you regular updates about what's happening. For today, you need to know that the legislature is going to be here all the time, and we've taken positions now on more than 500 bills. More than 500. That's tremendous work by our legislative committee and our review team and the board and everybody else who's been taking a look at bills. So you can always find these either on your phones or on your laptop or desktop, by going to the legislative menu item on our homepage and then just going to the quick positions on bills. We will be sending other updates on hot topics as they come along. For example, cannabis is a really hot topic this week, and we'll be sending a separate update on that. As a heads up, we're going to be sending out some alerts for you to file witness slips. You might recall that we have something on our website so that you know how to do a witness slip, and each time we send out a notice to ask you to do that, we'll be sending instructions on how to do it to try to make it as easy as possible.
I can't understand, and law enforcement can't understand, how they allow people to grow this stuff in their homes. As Representative Moylan said, how are we going to possibly regulate 5 plants? There is absolutely no way. These people will tell you that, well, now that we can buy it legally, that'll compete with the cartels and the black market. Wrong. The black market increases when legalized marijuana comes in.
Every other state that has this is suffering greatly, and they have multiple problems. Drug cartels are operating freely in Colorado and California. California had to lower their tax rates so they can compete with the drug cartels.
The other problem that we have is with testing. If you pull someone over, just like a breathalyzer, if someone is drinking, there are testing that's in place. But there is nothing in place to tell if I smoke 1 joint or 5 joints.
Cannabis is the most prevalent illicit drug consumed by impaired drivers. In fact, motor vehicle crashes double after someone has been consuming cannabis. Statistics from Washington State demonstrate that frequent use of marijuana by drivers involved in fatal crashes, where 85% of these drivers tested positive for THC.
This bill needs to be stopped, and it needs to be stopped now. So we call on you and law enforcement to please put the cry out there. Don't pass this bill.